Harbin is in Heilongjiang province, in the northeast of China, about 300 or 400 miles south of Siberia. So as you can imagine, the winter's going to be pretty cold. From the end of November to the end of March, it was permanently below freezing. The Songhua River was frozen, and it's also famous for an ice festival, which starts at the end of December and continues late into March. And I remember at the coldest times, the end of December to February, it would be on average -20 in the day, getting colder at night, sometimes below -30. And I don't remember the temperature ever being any warmer than, say, -12 centigrade. I used to check by the internet for the temperatures. So when it is this cold, if you're standing out at -20 at night, -25, waiting for a taxi, you need to be fully prepared. I had to wear a thick down jacket with hood. I had to wear another layer under my trousers. I had to wear good gloves, things to cover my face, like a scarf that would go around your nose and your mouth. You had to wear a covering for your ears and a hat. And I remember waiting by the roadside and the lorries would go past, and the cold used to come into your hands and you feel it on your face. The ends of the nose used to get cold, and the eyelids would start to freeze a little bit, so that when you blinked you could feel them sticking together slightly, but this didn't prevent you from seeing with any problems. So I spent a year in China, and I was teaching English to begin with, and then I started teaching A-level chemistry and physics in the international high school, plus also some computer technology, so it was quite an experience from the teaching side of things. When I started there were about 20 teachers, and at one point there was only 3 of us there because most of the teachers had finished their contracts or left before the end of their contracts. So the new teachers arrived in September and October, and we had about 11 teachers there living on campus with about 5,000 Chinese students as well. So we used to have our own spacious apartments, and the Chinese students would share from 4 to 6 in a room. So their lifestyle was, we could say, more cramped than ours. Anyway, I made some friends outside of the college. I used to go to a place like the Blues Bar, and I would meet up with some Canadians and some Russians. There were quite a few Russians that used to go there at night. And we would stay out most of the night as well, and then have a meal in the early hours of the morning before finally coming home and crashing out. So I also had some chances to travel to other places. Beijing I liked because it's such a historic and cultural place. For example, the Forbidden City, Temple of Heaven, Summer Palace. When I went there in the Spring Festival, the Summer Palace was cold because it was below freezing, and the lake near the Summer Palace was frozen and you could walk onto this. I also went down to Kunming in Yunnan province, which is in the southwest, and this borders Laos, Burma and Vietnam. And I also had a chance to go into Vietnam, Hanoi and Halong Bay. So I found it a culturally interesting experience. My campus in Harbin was not actually in the city centre, it was about 12 miles north, and it was any university style campus has its ups and downs. You know, you are living in a small community there, but it doesn't have the excitement of the city. So of course it did get a bit isolating sometimes. And there are tin hut restaurants near the college where we used to eat most evenings. So you can imagine when you're walking out and it's -20 there, there's a permanent layer of ice on the ground. People would think, if it's that cold, would it snow? Well, it did snow to begin with, but Harbin is in quite a dry part of the world. It does rain, but not so often, so we didn't have too much snow coming down, unlike the Alps in Europe. So now I'm back in England, and I'm at the crossroads again. You know, when you finish one job, you have to decide where to go and what to do. I've been teaching now for a couple of years. I was in Poland to begin with, in Białystok and Gdansk, came back home, looked on the internet for another teaching job, and decided to go to China. People have often told me, well, John, you should do a PGCE because there's more career. Well, that's possibly a good idea, but just at the moment I want to continue, maybe go back to Eastern Europe or even back to Asia. But of course, living so far away from home, it's not that easy to come back, and it's more expensive. And I think it's time now to buy a flat, because we're selling our flat in Folkestone. Hopefully it's going to be sold soon, and there's a possibility of buying something in Poland, perhaps a farm in Hungary, I don't know. But I think if I buy something with my parents' money, then I should live there, otherwise we'll have to rent it out. So I just don't know yet what the future holds. So this is crossroads time again, and time to think. Anyway, I still keep in contact with some of my friends. You know, the people in Harbin, they came from England, Canada, Ireland, one from Australia. So we get a mixture of cultures and nationalities. But it was a good experience overall, despite its ups and downs sometimes. Anyway, I miss my friends in Blues Bar and the QS Disco. You know, these were quite entertaining evenings, so to speak. Well, I think I should call it a day now, and I hope you've enjoyed the video so far. Bye!